Hello, hello, hello! I am Kasasagi Usagi, and I am here with more Final Fantasy XIV. We have a couple things to do before we get back on the main plot. Easter wasn't cancelled after all, or it's technically called Hatchling Tide. It's just later. That's because Easter is always some random ass crazy time, something calendar. I don't know, but it's never the same. It's never the same. So my guess is Japan didn't know when the fuck it was, and they just did it when they always did it, and I respect that. So, here it is. Hatchling Tide. It's all about eggs and rabbits. Let me get out of G-pose. There we go. Jilly Epath greets you with an anxious enthusiasm. Come on, come all, for the season of Hatching Tide is here once more. I am Jihi Apayo, and it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance on this most blessed occasion. Don't tell me you're an adventurer, yes? Well, you certainly have the inquisitive nature of one. At any rate, may I ask your name? Well then, Akali, I should probably mention that Hatching Tide all began with a vision I had before the 7th Umbral Calamity, in which the 12 Archons delivered unto me a message. From atop their giant decorated eggs they called to me, "Arise, young dreamer, and make ready the vessels for our return." When I awoke, I quickly set about filling the realm with all manner of painted ovids, and thus did this joyous yearly celebration come to be. I must say, the prophetic dream I had this year was more fantastical than usual. I was assailed with images of rabbits and chickens who worked together, paw and claw, a construct of wondrous backdrop for our festival. Always before, when we made efforts to recreate my visions, the fates rewarded us with some special occurrence. And already it has begun. No sooner had I donned my bunny costume than a chicken-salted poultry farmer arrived in town with a flock of feathery charges and offered to lend his assistance, just as I foresaw. There has, however, been one tiny bump in the road. You don't happen to have a few moments to spare, do you? I am always up for an expedition. Oh, it's just a simple errand, really. I promise not to take up too much of your time. It's just that my good friend Nonata went to collect eggs from the poultry farmer, and well, she should have returned by now. I'm certain it's nothing serious, but I would be ever so grateful if you could just pay a visit to Great Gloam Glowery and see what's keeping her. I have no idea where Great Gloam Glowery is, or where chickens would be in Gridania. Papaya, 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 papaya. Oh no. Mm-hmm. This is truly exasperating. If you're in search of Nonata, well, congratulations, you found me. So, who are you, and what might I do for you? Julie was worried, you say? Right, I should probably explain. But before we delve into that, I should introduce you to Master Paulin. Greetings. I am responsible for the Little Darlings. We heard word of this delightfully eccentric festival taking place in Gridania and simply had to be a part of it. By Little Darlings, he means the chickens, and they seem to be a touch out of sorts at the moment. The idea was to have them on hand to lay fresh eggs for us, and I've been trying to help soothe a whole barn full of ruffled feathers. But even wearing the costume didn't stop me from being battered by charging chickens or splattered with fresh droppings. Honestly, I'm not sure what was more injured, my body or my pride. The poor dears are simply not used to travel. Please don't think less of them if they act a bit rambunctious. Buck, buck, buck. Oh gods. My precious sweetling, no! Akali, if you plan on being heroic today, now is the time. Walk. As you stare into the eyes of the feathered fiend, you feel a brief connection being made. Hello, hello. Hand over the fancy feed, and I'll give you the eggs you need. Thus spoke the black, soulless eyes. At least you think that's what they said. I never got my aetherite over here, so let's do that real quick. This is the only one I'm missing in Gridania. Game's like, about time. You're level 50. How did you do that? I thought it was preparing to go on a rampage. Huh, you think the little darlings want their fancy feed? Well, I do have a special mix developed with the help of professional Bismarck culinarian for extra special occasions, and I suppose this qualifies. It's dreadfully expensive, even in small amounts, but how could I withhold a treat from my beloved beauties? I think I have enough fancy feed for everyone. Come, Naruto, the ladies await their feast. Right, hatchling tide must go on. Now, my little darlings, you needn't be so, ow, such a feisty welcome. If we could just, ow, not the fingers. Please, we're just trying to, oh no, the feed's gone everywhere. That seemed to cheer them up immensely. I suspect we'll have some eggs to collect in rather short order. Cheer them up? They worked themselves into an absolute frenzy! Perhaps our adventurous friend here would like to try her hand at egg collecting? I'll even give you one of my spare work suits to wear. What a wonderful opportunity for you. Sort out your gear, say your prayers, and we can have you filling a basket with eggs in no time. Just say the word. Nanata is in need of your egg collecting excellence. Are you ready to brave the paltry gauntlet? I'm sure you have your preferred adventuring wardrobe, but if you don't mind, I think you should wear the costume while you work. To business then. The entrance to the chicken enclosure is locked up tight. Just give the nod to Master Paulin and he'll let you in. We're counting on you, Akali. Do I actually have to put on the chicken suit? I think it's gonna put me in a chicken suit. Regardless. Hello, hello. It's chickens. I hate this. Well, I'm doing okay, and then the game told me I had to become chicken. Ready? Then into the chicken run you go. I think it's still gonna put me in the... No, I got to keep my chicken suit. Well, I guess we're waiting for the fate to begin. Oh, I'm outside of... out of bounds, Gridania. Yeah, you would. You have to be level 15 to do the Easter event. The only event that requires you to be a little bit on the higher level side is the summer event. Because you have to be level 30 because Costa del... Well, you can go do it at 15, but it's hard to get to Costa del Sol if you're lower leveled. But they're all usually 15. 15, and you have to have a grand company, I think. So you had to get a little bit in the... Yeah, right. 15 is for glamour. 15 is about where you pick a grand company and stuff, so. You can get glamour sooner if you start in Ul'dah, otherwise you gotta wait. You need the ability to travel to the different city-states, at the very least. Ul'dah, yeah. Yeah. So you can go to one of the city-states you start in, is or one of the smaller places you start in is Horizon, and you can just walk up the road into Vesper Bay. Walk up the road into Vesper Bay and just grab those quests like immediately. What other wild shit can I do? Why does it do this to you? Look at that chicken go. I don't know actually how long it's going to take for the fate to start. Last Easter. Oh, there it goes. I'm so glad you're here, Adventurer. From the looks of things, the hens are about to start laying their eggs. I don't know what to do. Oh shit, I gotta sink. Dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Wait, let me do it. Ah. Papaya. Papaya. No, I was so close. You nasty bird. No. I don't want these eggs anyway. They're no good. You're no good, chicken. I don't need this. What is wrong with this chicken? Let me touch your eggs. Ah! You cannot hide your eggs from me. Papaya. You're no good, duck. You're just like your father. Look at all these cowards not in their chicken costumes. I should turn in my eggs. Fine, I won't. I've collected 15! I really fucking nailed that shit to the ground. Papaya. Papaya. So last year, there was bunny costumes, and you could recognize a bunch of NPCs. Well, you couldn't recognize them, but by the way they talked and stuff, you could tell that they were of who they were. And some just flat out admitted it, but they were all in like bunny costumes of their own like colors and stuff. Yeah, this is the Easter event. They didn't skip it. I just imagine Japan didn't know. Yeah, but Easter is different every year. Also, Japan doesn't celebrate Easter. Not really. So because Easter is like wildly different every year, I think they were like, we're just gonna do it the same time every year. It doesn't matter. I legitimately thought they skipped it because they've had to skip. They skipped Halloween last year because of COVID, and then they combined Ladies' Day and White and Valentine's Day. So I thought they just skipped over Easter, but no. Our Easter is weird, and they were just like, our egg event is the same year every year. I don't remember why Easter is weird dates, but something. Jesus, that is all I know. Akali, your egg collecting skills are unparalleled. I don't know how to thank you. Truly, that was a masterful display. I am, however, somewhat concerned that my bellicose beauties may harm themselves in their excited state. If you would be so kind as to make the delivery, I should remain here to keep an eye on the chicken run. Certainly. I imagine poor Jihi must be frantic. Let us convey our precious cargo back to the amphitheater straight away. Papaya. Papaya, papaya, papaya. Papaya, papaya. 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 Welcome back, Akali. I hear the egg collecting was not quite so simple an errand as we'd imagined. I have seen the seventh hell, and it was full of chickens. A veritable purgatory of poultry, you say, and yet you persevered nonetheless. Nonata and I are most fortunate to have your assistance. With your hard-won bounty in hand, we can now proceed to the important task of baking cookies and planting eggs for the children. This is the rabbit costume they gave us last year. This is what a bunch of NPCs were in. I am loath to impose upon you so soon after your harrowing ordeal, but I wonder if I might ask you another favor. Simply put, I need you to hand out tokens of gratitude to our tireless helpers who will soon return from setting up the hatchling tide decorations. Such a duty should fall upon me, of course, but this soiled suit requires an immediate and thorough scrubbing. Wonderful! Come to the amphitheater and I'll have gifts laid out for you in just a moment. Here are the gifts I mentioned. I put together 3 different sets, but you can hand out whichever seems appropriate. Thank you again. I am sure your choices will be perfect. Meanwhile, I shall go see to cleansing the filth from my costume. Once you've finished the presents, you can report directly to Jilly. Oh my god. Greetings. We have come to report the completion of our part of the decorations. This is Connie Sana. So this is the leader of Gridania. You can tell because that's her staff. And she is a refined rabbit. 'Tis a joyful duty to assist with the hatchling tide adornments, knowing that every inhabitant of Gridania might enjoy the festivities. I hope you, too, will take a moment to join in this rare chance of revelry. In charge of rewarding festival helpers, you say? I have not done aught so grand as to merit a reward, but in the spirit of the occasion I shall humbly accept your gift. Well, I'm gonna give her the opulent Archon eggs, because this is the leader of Gridania. Well, isn't this exquisite? It shall grace my mantle as a memento of these happy celebrations. Such a lovely surprise. Now if you pray excuse us. And she always has guards with her, like, no matter what she's doing, so that's just one of her guards. Goodbye, Kana. Ha! Why am I not surprised to see you here? We had a guild meeting scheduled, but you know how adventurers are. We just had to get involved in the celebrations. And now, seeing that the Dreamers always do such a nice job at decorating Ul'dah, I figured this was a perfect chance for me to return the favor. Eh? Passing out presents to us laborers, are ye? Far be it from me to refuse a gift given freely. I don't know who they are. I think they're the Rogues Guild? Which would be crazy because we only just happened to do that. But I think that was Jock, the cat girl, and then the little Lalafell boy. I think it's the Rogues Guild, especially because they were like salt crested and a lot. I'm gonna give them the treats. No, they talked about being from Ul'dah. I don't know who these three are. They don't also have the wild. These are the type they fill with baked delights. There's nothing better than enjoying a sweet treat after a hard day's work. Don't go ordering them all to yourself now. I got time for a quick bite and a cup of Mother Moon's best tea before I make a trip back to Limsa Lomensa. No, they aren't from Limsa Lomensa. Sounds like a great idea. Count me in. I don't know who they are. We'd best be off and leave you to your business then. Do come visit us at the Canopy when duty permits. I will go visit them at the Canopy, because they will be there, and I will see who these three are if I can nail it down. I don't know if my sense for decoration is all that appealing, but I seem to have made a feathered friend. She must be from the flock belonging to Master Paulin. This is the botanist guild leader. Watching the struggles from afar, I had come to the conclusion that chickens are troublesome creatures, yet this one seems docile enough. So far, she's been content to follow me around as I put the finishing touches on my adornments. It is the Kamai costume, I wonder. A gift? For me? I feel somewhat guilty accepting a reward. Oh, my voice. I feel somewhat guilty for accepting a reward for an activity I do so thoroughly enjoy, but if you insist, I will give you treats too. Are these the eggs they fill with treats? That would explain the delicious aroma. Just what I need after a hard day's work in the planting fields. Now I think it's time I return this wayward hen to her owner. Fare you well. The botanist guild leader is a very big sweetheart. Whose name I cannot remember. I didn't give anyone stuffed animals though. Akali, my thanks for your assistance. Our little tokens were well received, I hope. I am glad to hear it. Sylph. Once my tasks were complete, I found myself veritably surrounded by sylphs and moogles. I suppose the hustle and bustle of the festival must have piqued their curiosity. The moogles seem particularly focused on winning cookie after cookie out of me. We shall have to call upon Master Paulin for more eggs so I can bake another batch. But putting these trifling troubles and setbacks aside, our rabbits and chickens have done a fabulous job with the hatchling tide decorations. The event is a huge success. And after all you've done to contribute, you deserve to head out and enjoy it. Also do the thing again if I want to. I don't want to learn about the festivities. I want to buy shit. Ugh. Where do I go to buy? With my eggs. Oh, it's you. No, it's not you. Ooh. Oh, I bet the egg advocate. So I buy another chicken suit. A compact, stylish pouch with a strap that's slung over the shoulder, designed with an egg motif, perfect for the hatchling tide season. Well, I'm gonna get these, and I'm going to get the food platter. I'm actually gonna put them in the FC chest for Casa, so Casa doesn't have to do this. Well, Casa is me, but it's also my my main. I have no interest in doing this on her, but I do want the goodies. I'm just gonna... I can't do that. Ugh. Well, okay, Final Fantasy. I didn't want to do that anyway. Oops. I guess I'll just have to do it on Casa anyway. Damn. Okay. I'll try and remember. I need to put my clothes back on. And then, we're gonna do our Lancer quest. Because it's important. I can't actually level anymore until I do these quests, so I can get my Jobstone, and then I can, like, really cruise along. Guildmaster Ywain would set you a final trial. Ah, Kali, ever a sight for sore eyes. By your return, I take it you are ready for the final trial. Very well, let us... Guildmaster Ywain! Chaos and carnage! You are wounded! What has happened? We were attacked, sir, by a dusk-white lancer as we trained in the forest. He was impossibly strong, a demon. He kept screaming something about teaching us true courage. Ugh, not him, not Falquez. We were in the northwest corner of the central shroud when it happened. I was able to get away, but the others... You must help the others. Be strong, man. I'm sorry, Akali, the trial must wait. Pray make haste for the central shroud and help your comrades. And Akali, should Falquest force your hand, do what must be done. 12 speed you on your way. Oh, I can fly. Hell yeah. I always forget, and it's very exciting when I suddenly take off into the air. Papaya, 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 papaya. Help! For the love of the 12, help me! I owe you my life, friend. Another breath and I would have become worm fodder. A dusk-white lancer unleashed the fiends upon us, claiming it would temper our courage. You should have seen the look in his eye when he said it. Mad bastard. Where is he now? I think he headed off towards North Shroud, maybe in the direction of Fallguard Float. I can't say for sure. I was concentrating on the scale skin at the time. If it's a reckoning you seek, you are like to be disappointed. Those of us who managed to outrun the worms will already have alerted the whalers. I dare say the Duskwhite is being at spear point as we speak, begging for his worthless life in a puddle of his own piss. Serves the bastard right and all. North Shroud. Bro, are you gonna knock this shit off at some point? What kept you? Helping your comrades, you say. Fool, you waste your pity on false friends. It is only a matter of time before they betray you. Aye, just like those wretches who saw me imprisoned and exiled. I was once an upright citizen of Gridania and a man of the Lancers Guild, yet life was not easy. For want of coin to obtain the barest necessities, I conspired with my closest comrades to steal from the guild's coffers. The theft soon came to light, and though there were no suspects, it was clear that the deed had been perpetrated by someone within the ranks. An air of suspicion hung heavy over the guild from that day forth, until at last, unable to bear the guilt, I convinced my accomplices to join me in confessing. Only for them to bite their craven tongues after I stepped forward and admitted my part in the crime. And so it was I alone that took the blame. Of course it was the Duskwhite, everyone said. Was there ever any doubt? It all made perfect sense. Despite my heartfelt pleas, my so-called friends denied any involvement. Instead, they called me vulgar names that I do not care to repeat. Can you imagine the shock and anguish I felt at their betrayal? Would that I had the strength to force the truth out of those traitors. Would that I had the courage to escape my dungeon cell, even if it meant taking some hapless guard's life. Driven by vengeance and no small amount of self-loathing, I resolved to forge my courage anew. I strode into the lairs of the ravenous fiends who, while drenched in blood, I put their helpless offspring to the spear, that I might face the unbridled fury of their kin. For my efforts I have acquired the ultimate courage, a courage forged amidst danger and tempered by rage. I fear nothing. I am the greatest lancer that has ever lived. They made new markers, so it's easier to tell where positionals are. If you see arrows, that means that the person has positionals, and the arrows point to the front of that person, so that you know. It's very cool. It's hard to see because he's so small, but. Impossible. My courage is absolute. No, come no closer. Well, he definitely died. So, Falquez is no more. His was a tragic tale, and one that might have been so different. Had fate not dealt him such a cruel hand, he could have have commanded a place of honor within these halls. But it avails us not to dwell upon what might have been. It is enough that you are still with us, Akali. Lest you wonder about your final trial, there will be none. I have seen all I need to see. You have proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that yours is a genuine courage. In recognition of this, I shall pass to you the secrets of the Lance Charge, one of the most potent abilities in our arsenal. You are a Lancer of your own right now. There is not more I can teach you. From here onwards, it is up to you to seek out challenges as well make you grow. Like attracts like, and the strong are drawn to strength. Just as I once knew for a certainty that I was destined to face the Lord of the Bramble Patch, so too will you find, or be found by, an adversary of equal worth. None can say what fate will bring, but armed with your courage there is naught you need fear. Keep close to your heart the lessons you have learned here, and go forth and blaze a new trail with spear in hand. Oh, it suddenly became a raven here. Well, this is mildly obnoxious. Ywain seeks your aid in assisting an old friend. I dare say you just might be the right woman for the job. The guild is urgent need of a capable lancer for a mission beyond our nation's borders. Hear me out, if you will. I've received word from an Ishgardian friend to the effect that he requires our aid. I would have you go and provide that aid. As you may already know, due to her ongoing conflict with the dragons, Ishgard has kept her gates closed to outsiders for some time. The occasional dragoon on patrol duty is about all folks see these days. In spite of her self-imposed isolation, however, the Holy See has never failed in her honor to honor her obligations to her allies. Huh? Is that true? No, I don't actually think that's true, Ywain. I actually think Ishgard is astoundingly good at ignoring her allies. It is only fitting that we answer the call and lend what assistance we can. To this end, we offered to dispatch a contingent of wood whalers with all haste, but were politely informed that we would not be welcome, much to our initial confusion. It was later explained that we are dealing with a matter of some sensitivity, best handled by individuals who are capable and trustworthy, yet unbound by allegiance, and who fit that description save adventurers. Secrecy being paramount, I can provide no details as to the nature of the task. All you need know is that all will be revealed at the rendezvous point. Should you accept this mission, take yourself to the observatorium. A knight by the name of Sir Alberic will receive you upon arrival. Ywain, have you been living under a rock? Ishgard cares about no bitch. But I'll go anyway, because I gotta. Ishgard has never abandoned her allies. That's the whole plot of Heaven's Ward. You think Ywain would just tell lies? In the Lancers Guild? Sagu Yuzi. You're not the man I need to talk to. Hello, sir. Ah, you must be the adventurer of whom Ywain sent word. Greetings and well met. I am Sir Alberic Bale, Knight of Ishgard. The Holy See is much obliged to you for your aid. Time being of the essence, I shall proceed straight to the heart of the matter. The eye, an Ishgardian relic of immeasurable worth, has been stolen, and we have reason to believe the culprit has come this way. So it is that we ask your assistance in its recovery. The thief has been identified as a man named Astinian, a dragoon sworn to the service of the Holy See. Aye, you heard true. The crime was perpetrated by one of our own, an individual in a position of trust and no little honor. You may rest assured a fate worse than death awaits him upon his capture. My duties to the sea afford me little opportunity to travel far beyond the walls of Ishgard. I must confess to a grave ignorance of recent Grandanian affairs. I was told that a sentry by the name of Long Grandanwell might have knowledge of routes oft taken by Ishgardian fugitives. I would prefer to keep my identity a secret, and thus would have you gather what information you can from the man. We must act quickly, for you see, Estinian is... But I've already said too much. What matters is that we find our thief and the eye with all haste. When last sighted, Estinian was clad in black armor. Now go, and speak not a word of what I have told you to anyone. No problem. Routes favored by Ishgardian fugitives. Now that's a question I don't hear every day. You aren't slaughtering some unsavory act yourself, are you? Even if you were, I doubt you'd make it far. Any road, we've caught a few fleeing to the North Shroud, what with Gridania being home to nearly as many Elysian as Ishgard. It is not so easy a task to identify outsiders. If you're on the hunt for someone, you could do worse than to visit Florentil's Spire and North Shroud and speak with a man named Destian. If any suspicious persons have crossed the border in recent days, he'd be the first to know. Chickens, bunnies, and eggs. You have missed the chickens, unfortunately. But I can show you. I'm not going to put the whole costume back on, but I can show you. Let me stop flying. Hello, Sprightly. Take that off immediately. I know, it's the very soulless eyes. Hail, adventurer! Yes, I'm the one tasked with monitoring those that would enter the lands by way of Corthus. Huh? An Ishgardian knight clad in black armor. No, I recall nothing of the sort, and such a striking visitor would be difficult to forget. My apologies, friend. I can only suggest that you return to Log Danrel and see if he has any other theories. Oh, yeah! Or, there was an evil little penguin. In Courage the Cowardly Dog. But it also reminds me of, something in Gromit. It was like clay animation. I can't remember. All I remember is it was a man and a dog. And they were made out of, it was all clay animation. And there was a very, very sinister penguin that had the most soulless eyes you could ever imagine. Yeah, Wallace and Gromit. No luck, you say? Most curious. Why, it's nigh impossible that a fugitive could make it this far without being spied by Florentil's Spire, which leaves the possibility that your man is still in Ishgard. It runs counter to good sense. What would the fugitive not want to put distance of grounds between him and his pursuers? But by process of deduction, it is a possibility. The claims of Ishgard are not kind to drifters and vagabonds. That said, there has been talk of curious smoke wafting from an east cave of here at night. Were I you, I might begin my search there. I see. Oh. It's nice to be clean. It makes you feel better. Let me move my chat back where it belongs. That Ishgard would resort to sending coin-starved adventurers after me. I know not whether to laugh or feel insulted. The eye, it rouses. For another? Preposterous. Our paths shall cross again, you can be sure of it. There he goes. I really wanted to fight that man. He do that. A dragoon clad in black, you say? Tell me all that transpired. You joke, but that's what dragoons do. By the fury that the eye would choose another. I had not thought it possible in light of recent events. It would seem an explanation is in order. The eye is no ordinary relic. It harbors the power of the dragon, which it bestows upon a single chosen soul, the strongest and wisest dragoon. He who is chosen is possessed of the power to fight our mortal foes, the dragons of Dravania, on equal footing, soaring the firmament as if it were an extension of the land. The man is known as the Azure Dragoon. The Azure Dragoon is the light of hope for all Ishgardians, and the paragon of all dragoons. For this reason, you may imagine how it pains me to have to confess that the man you encountered, the thief, is none other than the Azure Dragoon, and that I was once his teacher. Needless to say, I acknowledge myself accountable for Estinian's misdeeds, and mean to do all my power to find him and recover the eye, but I cannot do this alone. I require your help, Akali, you who have received the power of the dragon. You may labor to believe it, but there can be no mistake. The soul of the dragoon I bear glows in your presence, irrefutable proof that you are chosen. What I can ill explain, however, is the why of it. Never before in Ishgard's long history has the eye roused for more than one individual in a single generation, but avails us not to croggle our brains about it. The fact of the matter is that you are now a vessel for power of the dragon. The dragon lies yet in slumber, however. You must needs possess the means to wake it. The soul of the dragoon, I would entrust you with mine, Akali. Like Estinian, I once ruled the skies as the Azure Dragoon, although that power has long since become lost to me. It was simply by force of habit that I have hitherto kept the soul upon my person. I have no inkling as to why the eye has seen fit to choose a second, and an outsider at that. Yet one thing is clear, none can challenge the Azure Dragoon and conceivably prevail, save another Azure Dragoon. You are our only hope of bringing Estinian to justice and reclaiming the eye. Of course, I do not ask that you do this unaided. I may be a dragoon no more, but what knowledge I have I shall gladly impart to you. For indeed, when the time comes, and you must face the Azure Dragoon, not less than complete mastery of the power of the dragon will avail you. That a perilous road lies ahead of you I shall not deny. Knowing this, if you would still lend me your lance, I will teach you to harness the power that has chosen you. Go forth, my young dragoon, and rouse the dragon within. I look forward to your return. I said dragoon so many goddamn times in the last 5 minutes. Azure Dragoon? Dragoon, 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 Dragoon. Azure Dragoon. And I have learned to jump. Thank God for that. Super. I have to cruise through these dragoon quests. It's true. It is true. Where is... Oh, I have to put on the soul of the dragoon. Okay. And then it fucks up all my buttons. Final Fantasy. I hate this. I think that's good. Okay. I would love to jump on some fool. Hold on. It's not very exciting. You get cooler jumps eventually. Where is something that I can jump on that won't immediately beat me up? Well, nothing here. We're actually going to go back to Minfilia and do MSQ stuff. At last. There should actually be new dialogue. So let's talk to everyone. History is our friend, young one. The answers to the problems of the present are oft to be found within the past. We need not seek them out. Oh no, we have already heard all of this. Because you're super drunk, right? Yeah. Alright. We move on then. Minfilia's thoughts keep returning to the fate of the students of Baldassian. Our friends, the very isle itself, everyone and everything. No, it avails us not to speculate. Urianger will send word if there are any developments. Until such time as he does, we must remain firmly focused on that which is within our power to change. With that in mind, I would speak of a different matter, one closer to home. It concerns the etheric fluctuations which had previously attributed to the good King Mogulmog the 12th. That the king is no more is a blessing for which we have you to thank. Yet all is not well in the Twelves Wood. Our latest revealings reveal an ongoing etheric disturbance on considerable magnitude. They may even suggest the presence of a primal. Needless to say that the mere possibility warrants immediate investigation, and I would have you... Acilia, I do not wish to interrupt, but we have a problem. What matter of problem? A band of refugees hailing from Ul'dah this time are come to Reverence Toll seeking asylum. It would seem they expect us to afford them the same treatment we gave the Domans. At present, they are in the seventh heaven, awaiting a formal response. I see. Mayhap this was to be expected. I shall meet with them at once. Acilia, you know full well we haven't the resources to accommodate many more people. Consider what will happen if you do this. Word will spread, and more will follow. Your opinion is duly noted, but I will hear their suit. Acully, I should be grateful for your presence at this meeting. I apologize for keeping you waiting. My name is Minfilia, and I lead the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. 12 be praised, it is you! We're ready and willing to work, same as the Domans. Just give us a task and we'll see it done. Pray calm yourselves. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I know not of your situation. Beg your pardon, antecedent. I ain't so good with words. We've been living off the scraps of Ul'dah for years now, trying to piece together a life to replace the one that got took. They say there's work, but there's not for an honest man. Not as wouldn't sully his soul sooner than his palms any road. The flames do what they can for us, of course, but it ain't near enough. And it's only getting worse. When the calamity brought us to our knees, those rich bastards in the city didn't help us. They climbed on our backs. I don't pretend to be clever, but even I can see what's coming. I knew we had to run. The only question was where. And then it came to me. Reverence toll. I mean, you took in them foreigners, didn't you? So you'd surely do the same for us. I fear the situation is rather more complicated. While it is true that we accepted the Doman's petition for aid, the decision was the product of extraordinary circumstances. I sympathize deeply with your plight, but pray understand that it is not possible for an organization of our means to aid all who have been afflicted by the calamity. And so it was with great regret that I must deny your request. But we've nowhere else to go. You're turning your back on us? If I might have a word. Dataru, as ought to miss. Ill tidings from Ulda, my lady. Alphino has been wounded. What? How? Is it serious? I cannot say for certain, but I fear it might be. According to the flames, the refugees started a riot. They went wild, apparently, lashing out at any and everyone. That can't be right. Why would they? They must have been provoked. The demonstration was meant to be peaceful. Seven hells, now the Blades will have an excuse. They'll round us up and kill anyone who tries to resist. Antecedent, please. If you won't help us build a new life, at least help us keep the ones we've got. My lady. We are not ones to stand idly by and watch innocents suffer. However, until we know more of the circumstances surrounding this riot, I am not certain what aid, if any, we can provide. If the authorities determine that the refugees attacked without provocation, then those responsible will have to answer for their actions. How can you be so blind? Find Alphino and quickly. If he's in danger or worse, I would have you and none other by his side. Thank you. Pray do not concern yourself with the matter we were discussing earlier. Ida and Papa Lima will see to it. Alphino is being treated at the Hourglass. Hurry, Akali! A powerful mark was sensed during my cutscene. Is that an A rank or an S rank? I feel like you only get notifications for S ranks. I'm gonna do a snoop. And see if I can just look at this S rank. I can't quite remember where the S ranks hang out. Frogs. But I feel like it's over in the marsh. Hello, hello. Oh, and there he is. I think this is an S rank. Spotted Agrippa the Mighty. And where are we? Like here. Let me make sure this is an F rank. Oh, he won't be so tough if people actually show up. Agrippa the Mighty. That is an S rank. Okay, cool. I don't have that S rank stuff, like mark stuff unlocked, but I do want to be around when he is spotted. Yeah, I still have to unlock it. There's like a quest that's like, hey, so you get, I don't actually have it. I don't have it unlocked. So you get marks, so I probably won't get anything, but it should still count as a kill. You get these things called alliance seals for killing A ranks and S ranks. And you can buy like hold up. Party thing. Party recruitment. I have to actually end this. Yeah, I called it. Oh, I did get allied seals. So you get those little seals for killing S ranks. And I think more importantly is there's a whole bunch of achievements. I think I can pull them up. The hunt. So there's a bunch of things that you can get with the hunt marks. But here's the big shit. You need to do. Where is it? It's probably all the way at the bottom. So you need to complete, bring your A game 5 and bring your S game 5, and you will get a saber-toothed tiger mount. A game 5 and S game 5 is you need to kill 3,000 A ranks and 2,000 S ranks. Which is absurdly difficult. It just takes a very long time. You actually have to A ranks have I believe a 6 to 8 hour cooldown. But S ranks require you to do something else, and people go out of their way to spawn them. Like, they need certain weather conditions, or you have to. There's one in Shadowbringers that's like you have to kill 100 of a certain type of mob in the forest, and you will spawn the S rank there, but you can do that only once every 72 hours, I think it is. So S ranks have a very, very long cooldown. I do not have either of these mounts. What I do is I follow the hunt Discord, and people will call their hunt trains and stuff. So what you do is there's one person that leads the hunt train, and then there's a bunch of people that scout out where all the A ranks are, because they spawn in different locations throughout the throughout the day. They have like 8 or 10 spots, so then people just go look for them, and then you lead the whole train of about, God, it's like you can have up to 100 to 200 people in the hunt trains, going from spot to spot, killing the monster as fast as possible, and then moving on. Because at some point the seals they stop mattering, and you just want that tick. So as long as you hit it, you'll get that tick for saying that you completed it. And so you can get, if you do, and then because you can go to different servers, if you follow all the hunt trains, you can get about like 75 A ranks a day. So, but you have got to be on it all the time. And you have to hope that people out in the world haven't gone off and killed the A ranks and the S ranks all on their own. So, it's not impossible, but you have to be deep in the community. Yeah. I can give you that Discord. I'll post it in the Final Fantasy chat after stream. I can give you the Aether hunts. I need to go to hold on. I can give you the Aether hunts log, and it's gonna be in a lot of places you can't get to mostly. So stuff in A Realm Reborn, it's just kind of like, well, sometimes it gets called, but more often than not, because of how fast they die, you're not going to get a chance to slap those. And then, I can also give you the Balance Discord, which tells you how to play, which will help you how to play your class. Because, it's not super intuitive, unfortunately. Final Fantasy doesn't give you a good guide on how to play, to do what you're doing. Yeah, no. It is not super intuitive. So there's a lot of, like, bare bones. Zeth, you would be insanely surprised how many people don't understand how to tank. Your mind would be blown at how difficult. A lot of problems, I think most of those problems stem from people coming from World of Warcraft. And I can always spot a World of Warcraft tank and a World of Warcraft healer. They're very obvious. Tanks pull with provoke and stuff, which you shouldn't do. And, but you did do that in World of Warcraft. And then, healers will not do damage. Because you, as a healer in World of Warcraft, you just did. You just healed. That was your only goal. But healers here have to do. I have a very serious question for you, Zav, when it comes to Overwatch. Do you hold up your rectangle as Reinhardt? Do you hold it up? Or you just swing your hammer? There, okay. Then fine. You'll be fine. Oh, well then, Zath, you have no idea.
You must have gathered by now that Tataru is given to exaggeration. As you can see, I am quite well.
Reinhardts have one job, and it's to hold a rectangle. And they cannot fucking do it. They have no idea how that button works. It makes me crazy. Anyway. No, I'm just kidding. I think you'll do fine as tank. Thank you for your bean tags. Honestly, Final Fantasy tanking is incredibly easy, and they have made it easier. You put on your tank stance. It's not called Shield Oath for you anymore. It's it's Iron Will, I believe. You slap that button on at the beginning of everything. You do your AoE slashies, and that is it. You make sure that nobody is attacking the healers or the DPS, and that is literally all there is to it. It can get more difficult as time goes on, but tank stance, AoEs, have all the enemies. It is that simple.
Ul'dah, on the other hand, is not. This riot was anything but an isolated incident.
Is all there is to it.
There is a restlessness in the air. Tensions long simmering are at last threatening to boil over. Ul'dah is a nation infamous for the great disparity between the wealthy and the poor. The majority of the populace accepts this state of affairs because they believe that every man bears responsibility for his own lot in life. To an Ul'dan, money is the foremost, and some would say the only measure of a man's worth. Small wonder that the wealthiest wield the greatest influence. So where do the refugees fit into this social hierarchy? What place is there for those who fled Alamigo and the destruction of the Calamity? Plainly, there is none. They have no wealth, no power, and no worth. To the Ul'dan way of thinking, they may as well not exist. Choosing to ignore their existence, however, is patently not an option. General Rauban and the Sultana understand this, which is why they ordered the Immortal Flames to provide the refugees aid and succor. Yet none would dispute that the expenses incurred by this policy grow by the day, with no end in sight. This has prompted more and more Ul'dans to question their obligation to aid these worthless wanderers.
The Alamegan, like, clothing that a lot of them wear remind me a lot of Final Fantasy X, just not as colorful. Final Fantasy X had some looks, and none of them were particularly good. Yeah. That guy with the harness, that was just what, Barthelo wore. Yeah, Final Fantasy X had tits out looks all the time.
While more and more refugees have come to resent their treatment at the hands of the sneering citizenry.
Barthelo, we're leaving.
The manner of Lord Lolorito's refusal to grant the Dolmens asylum bespoke a disdain for all refugees, an attitude shared by the rest of the monetarists. And you may be sure they make no effort to conceal their opinions. It was only a matter of time before the refugees united in protest. Nor is it any surprise that some among them would ultimately resort to violence. That the Immortal Flames should choose this of all occasions to engage in joint training exercises with the other Grand Companies. By the time they return, the situation may well have deteriorated beyond mending.
Why is that banned? I feel like... Oh, I accidentally skipped over some dialogue. We have said you cowards before. You are specifically weirdly banned. Hold on. Okay, maybe that'll help. And if it doesn't... Oh. You should... Hopefully that's fine. Jeez. Thanks for the money, Alphino. Alphino wishes to investigate the circumstances surrounding the riot. If it's still catching you for stuff, I'll just turn it off in general. And, oh, thank you. And then, if there are problems, that's what Q is for. As I told you before, it was all but inevitable that the incident of this kind would eventually occur, given the rising tensions within the Sultanate. Nevertheless, I have reason to believe that this particular riot may not have begun spontaneously. Have I piqued your curiosity? Good. Then you will accompany me to the Halls of Flames, and I would hear what General Raban has to say about the matter. Well, not you specifically. A general state of affairs. Oh. Now is a good time, Akali. My hands are full dealing with the refugees. Precisely the matter we wish to discuss, General. Alphino, back on your feet already. You may credit my swift recovery to your shurikens. My memories of the riot are still somewhat muddled. I trust you managed to regain control of the situation. Not entirely. We secured the city soon enough, but not before the unrest spread to the surrounding territories. Pockets of resistance remain throughout Thanalhan. We have sent what forces we can to spare to root out the last of the belligerents, but progress is slow. They are damnably elusive. I can well imagine. Given the majority of the refugees live outside the walls, it stands to reason that they would know the lay of the land. What I do not understand is how they came to be so well prepared. Before my little incident, I observed that several of the refugees were armed, and not with butcher knives or pitchforks, but with martial weaponry. And you'd hardly add that such equipment is costly. None can deny that the tensions between the Ul'dan citizenry and the refugee population have increased since the Domans were turned away. But what that would motivate a starving man to purchase items in lieu of food? I think not. And what of those who have not a single gil to spend? Who could not survive without aid provided by the immortal flames? Surely they would sooner sell a weapon than bring it bare against their benefactors. Come to the point. Very well. My point, General, is that the powder keg of discontent was not set alight by chance. These events are deliberately set in motion, and now order must be restored, and that is my first duty. Until it is done, any investigation can wait. I do not have time to discuss this. My scouts will be returning anon. That is a fair reaction to have to Alphino. You should want to punch him. The general is no fool. He keeps his own counsel, and with good cause. Were he to claim, without the necessary proof, that these riots were instigated by outside forces, the monetarists would accuse him of attempting to shirk responsibility. After all, he and the Sultana have been the most outspoken proponents of refugee aid. Regardless, they will face harsh criticism in the days ahead. Our allies may stumble upon the truth in time, but I have far more faith in your abilities, Akali. Therefore, I propose we conduct our own investigation, independent of the authorities. To that end, I would have you make inquiries of the settlements suspected of harboring belligerents. Commander Swift will know which they are. He may balk at the request of such information, but I have no doubt that you can persuade him with your silver tongue. I, meanwhile, shall seek answers of my own way, after which we can regroup and share our findings. Well then, shall we? You look as though you have something to say, Akali. Do you? What you ask is no simple favor. Were such information to fall into the wrong hands, the lives of countless soldiers would be at risk. Even so, there is wisdom in your words. An able individual may be better suited to this task than a regiment. Very well. The Brass Blades have reported suspicious activity in the vicinity of the Lost Hope. It may be unrelated to recent events, but we doubt it. I suggest you begin speaking to the Blades posted there. I did for main story stuff because the main story stuff is like genuinely really good. This wasn't like WoW where I didn't read anything unless but I would stop and listen if NPCs were talking. I will admit that there were some side quest things that I have sort of glazed through because a lot of it, all the side quests in here, not all of them are important, but a lot of them have like lore. So in Final Fantasy XIV, a lot of people get really attached, myself included, to the OCs that they make, you know, little Warriors of Light, and they want to have like lore compliant names and a fleshy backstory, and doing side quests will help you sort of figure out sort of how the societies of each race work. Don't do that. At least read the main story stuff, yeah. So like, so for my kitty here, the A in her name is the A of her tribe. So when you say her name, Akali, it's like saying Miss Kali, but that's just her tribe. She's from the A tribe. Yana is the name of her father, because I believe the boy cats sort of rule society of the sun sun Mikotes, and the boys have what order they were born in their names, so they'll have their tribe letter, their name, and then what order they were born in. So there's Tias, there's Nuas, there's stuff like that. And then the Mooncats have their fathers leave, like the boys don't hang around because it's a woman-based society. So I believe they have, I can't remember how their names work off the top of my head. Yeah. So it's super good. Certain tribes have the Ara with the black scales have Mongolian names, and the Aras with the white scales have Japanese names because they are two very different societies. And so through side quests, you learn kind of how female sun cats are treated in their societies, and just sort of how the world works a little bit better. Yeah, so still waiting on patches, yeah. So the black scaled Aras have a whole expansion kind of around them, and you'll learn a ton about the tribes of the Zalas. A friend of the Sultanate, are we? I take this means someone has read my report? The refugees who left with the merchant have yet to return, and I am increasingly concerned that Zawawaka's suspicions were correct. You haven't the foggiest idea what I'm talking about, do you? Never mind. Speak with Zawawaka and he will explain everything. And what brings you here, adventurer? A search for refugees? Well, then you have come to the right place. Oh, you mean those refugees? Oh, no, you won't find them here. Most of the people of Lost Hope have come to accept their situation and are content to pass the days in peace and quiet. Outsiders have trouble understanding that, like the merchant who passed through here recently. Gregarious fellow, but awfully opinionated. Can't say I was sad to see him go. Yeah. So I would be careful to a small... No, you should be fine if you just looked up, like, Zayla stuff. But there's a ton of tribes. So you can have and the last name of Zaylas is always their tribe name. So you'll see a lot of Zaylas with a lot of the same names. Even some that you'll meet in the games and whatnot. I actually have the big if you want, Seth, I can send you a screenshot from my lore book that has a list of all the known tribes. Don't hurt me. I'm not one of them. I beg your pardon? You're not a flame. I see. If Leofric bid you to speak with me, then I take you've agreed to help. 12 be praised for that, because I haven't a moment to waste. Everyone knows the flames are on the march. The others have fallen under the frantic spell, but not I. Promises of revolution and retribution, upholding the ruling class to account, and taking that which is owed? Ha! A childish fantasy. I did everything I could to dissuade the others from leaving, but few would heed my words. Now that one of our idealists has returned, however, the madness of the merchant's plan is plain for all to see. Look behind yonder tent, and you'll understand why. Even now he babbles incoherently. So traumatized is he by the bloodshed he witnessed. Try as I might, I can make little sense of his words beyond the fact that he was not alone in surviving. Yet I've no doubt that that merchant will lead the remainder to their doom. I beg you find them before he does. What are you doing? Don't draw! Don't draw! Why didn't you run away with me? We could have escaped together. Then you'd be here with me. You'd be here to soothe me. Why did you have to leave? Why did you have to stay and leave me alone? Who are you? What do you want? It's true, I followed the merchant, and may the gods strike me down for my folly. What they will not give, you must take, he said. When we asked how, he revealed a cache of weapons he had brought and implored us to seize control of our fates. I thought about running then and there, but the others were so excited. He split us into 2 groups, sent us off on our own. But that was when the flames found us. We didn't know what to do. Our leader tried to parley with theirs, but then they started arguing, and then fighting, and then everyone was fighting, and the flames were shouting to give no quarter, and... Oh, God's the other group. They're still out there. If we don't stop them, we'll be massacred like mine was. The terrified refugee would have you find his brethren and convince them to lay down their arms. The other refugees are hiding in the caves south of Lost Hope, but to approach them would be fruitless. They would sooner call us agents of the Sultanate and try and kill us than listen to reason. Why, the twins might even design to do the deed themselves. A pox on all the bloody sellswords. They were supposed to train us to fight, but the ones he sent us would vanish during our struggle. Oh, if only we had never listened to the merchant's ridiculous claims. He said our case was righteous, that the gods would never suffer us to be defeated. Though, if they were forced to confront reality, that's it! Challenge the twins to combat and show my brethren that their strongest warriors are no match for one woman. Mayhaps then they will agree to lay down their arms and renounce this plot. Oh, I have to... 7 hells they've found us. Everyone grab your gear and make for the rendezvous point. So, that's your game, is it? Sorry to disappoint you, lass, but we're more than willing to kill ye ourselves. Okay. Uh-oh. Forgot to lock my bars. You beat them all like it was nothing. Oh, almighty, what are we gonna do now? Do, do, do. I'm stuck on rocks. You've returned! Did you find my brethren? What of the twins? What happened? I see. Well, you had no choice. Better than a handful of them take a beating from you than the lot get butchered by the flames. Tell me, what did the merchant have to say when it was over? Huh? But where else would he be? Unless he went to Stone's Throw to recruit others. The terrified refugee would have you find the shady figure who is trying to stir dissent among the brethren. The merchant wished to approach the refugees to Stone's Throw, but was waiting until the flames withdrew their forces from the vicinity. Now that they have, there's nothing to stop him from continuing his work. How many more must perish in the pursuit of a futile cause? How much more suffering must we endure before it ends? Find him, convince him to cease this mad quest. It will surely lead us to ruin. I have not played Path of Exile. That's the Conan one, right? Do you really? Oh, no, that is the one. That's okay. I knew Q was playing it. That's the one where like you fought a ghost for like 4 hours. Have you seen my parents? They told me to stay here with the others. They said they'd be back soon, but it's been days. They left with a man from Ul'dah. The man said they were going to change everything, make it so we could live inside the walls with everyone else. I liked it when he said that. I didn't like it when they talked about making the rich people pay. Everyone looked so angry, and I got scared. Say, miss, are you looking for someone? I'm looking for a merchant. You mean the man who left with my parents? But I don't know where he... Wait! Look, over there! I think that's him! Well now, which of these gullible fools shall be my next victim? I. He's getting away! Go get him, miss! You again? Why are you pursuing me? Sedition, treason, revolution! That's preposterous! Who has your head filled with these lies? Refugees! The self-same refugees who terrorize the streets of Ulda. You have no evidence to prove your accusations. None. No, I will not accompany you to the Hall of Fames. You have no right to detain me. For the sake of argument, let us say I did do those things as you claim. Surely you don't think I gave a Quarren's ass about politics. It was business. Only business. We both know I'm not the one you want. However, if you agree to protect me, I swear I shall tell you everything. What's all this commotion? I didn't even... Hey, before we start pointing fingers, I wasn't even given a chance. I agreed, and then he keeled over and died. How dare you? Wow, wow, wow! 7 hells! I did do the solemn knot. Tell the others to spread out and search the area. The killer may still be close. Wow. Hold, Adventurer. I would know more about your relationship with the victim, as well as the events leading up to his death. You know what I say? I say he should have dodged it. This man was responsible for the recent riots. Mayhap we owe his murderer a debt of gratitude. In any case, it's obvious you are not the one whom we seek. You may carry on with your investigation, Scion. I simply say he should have dodged it. Should have dodged it. He left himself wide open. What news, Akali? Where's the merchant? Murdered? Damn it all to the 7th hell! He was not simply murdered, Akali. He was silenced. Too many knew his face, and he was ready to divulge his secrets. Do not despair, though. We may be closer to identifying the true orchestrator of these riots than you realize. Swift has a message for you from General Roban. The Flame General left word that you were to proceed to the Fragrant Chamber as soon as you returned. He wishes to discuss your recent discoveries as well as the results of our own investigation. Master Alphino has already been informed and should be waiting for you outside. Pray proceed to the Royal Promenade with all haste and speak with Bartholomew. There's too many options, and I can't remember. I just can't remember sometimes. Wait, hold on. Excellent work, Akali. The information you brought us helped me persuade General Raban to call this meeting. Mayhap now we can discuss matters openly and honestly. We have been expecting you, madam. Please proceed inside. Yes.
Commander Swift has kept us apprised of your recent activities. You've made great strides towards quelling the violence.
It's the raid server. All the raiders are there. Gilgamesh is full of assholes. I have more people blocked on Gilgamesh than like than any other server. That's what it is though. That's the big raiding server. Yep.
Despite our best efforts to determine what provoked this uprising, the truth continues to elude us. Have you uncovered aught which might shed some light on the mystery?
This information does not leave this room.
Isn't Diablos on Crystal? Diablos is the other raiding server. That's the Crystal raiding server.
The Syndicate's decision to reject the Doman refugees' appeal for asylum had lasting repercussions. A number of those displaced by the calamity claimed it was proof of a policy of discrimination.
Yeah, Diablos is on Crystal. And that is Crystal's quote-unquote raiding server. You don't want to be on Crystal, though. Like, genuinely. I spent a lot of time on Crystal. Crystal, if you are ever looking to raid and pug, if you're looking to pug and raid, you want to be on Aether, because Aether has Gilgamesh. Well, Crystal has two of the biggest RP servers, imaginable. You have Belmog, which is the biggest server, and you have, I can't remember what the other one's called. It starts with an M. Matus? So, you have a lot of people. I would stay with Aether or Primal. You will have a much better time. In my opinion. You can be wherever you want, because your experiences may vary. But Diablos is the raiding server. Well, then you can't play with me, Zath, because you'll be on Crystal.
Together with a group of Alamegan refugees, they organized a series of demonstrations to protest against the Sultanate. Demonstrations which became heated, but did not descend into violence. until a certain incident served as a call to arms.
A unit of brass blades sent to supervise a demonstration loosed arrows upon unarmed protesters. It was this atrocity which prompted the refugees to take up arms. I need not tell you what followed.
We assumed at first that the attack was born of a miscommunication. When emotions run high, they happen. But suspicions were raised regarding the unit's commanding officer, whom I ordered interrogated. Sure enough, our fears were soon confirmed. The dog confessed that a merchant had offered him coin to give the order. A merchant in the employ of Teleji Adeleji.
Gasp.
Teleji Adeleji. But he spoke in favor of the Doman's cause, and has ever seemed sympathetic towards the refugees' plight. Why would he do such a thing?
Know you of the Cartano Reclamation Bill? It is a proposal to annex the Cartano Flats so that refugees may establish permanent settlements.
When last I looked, that was disputed territory.
Aye. Some might even call it a battlefield. The destruction wrought by Bahamut was greatest at the Cartano Flats. That much is common knowledge. What is less well known is that his rampage laid bare ancient Alagon ruins, of which no record existed. There are certain differences of opinion as to how these ruins should be handled, which is why each nation maintains a military presence in the region to this day. Yet differ though we may, we are still allies. Therefore, in the interest of preserving the Eorzean alliance, we have reached an agreement. Any conflict which may arise during the course of military exercises in the region shall have no bearing on relations between our nations. In full knowledge of this delicate state of affairs, Teleji Adeleji proposed the Cartano Reclamation Bill. A shameless bloody ruse which stands to benefit him in but one conceivable way. If successful, he will gain control over the disputed territory under the guise of assisting in the resettlement effort. And you can be sure he'll build an orphanage next to every Alagon ruin.
The man would threaten the unity of the Eorzean alliance and risk countless lives for personal gain.
He walks a path all his own, independent of any faction and beholden to none of his fellows on the Syndicate.
By inciting the less fortunate to violence, he hopes to convince others that the Cartano Reclamation Bill is the only viable solution.
Yeah, Teleji Adeleji is in fact a huge cock.
His sympathy for the plight of the Domans was not but posturing to gain credibility with the refugees. Of that there can be no doubt.
I know, villainous Lalafels are very good. They look incredibly sinister.
Forgive me, but what could possibly motivate Teleji Adeleji to go to such lengths? What is so special about these ruins that he would risk his position on the Syndicate, and, most likely, charges of treason against the Sultanate?
Omega.
Pardon?
No, Lalafels are good.
An Alagon monstrosity, not unlike the Ultima weapon. Mayhap larger, we know not. It has yet to be fully excavated. Alagon inscriptions indicate that it was created to fell Bahamut himself. If accurate, it might explain why Nail Van Darnus chose to bring the Red Moon down upon the Cartano Flats. Given the ends he went to ensure Eorzea's annihilation, destroying the one weapon which could stay the Elder Primal may well have seemed like good sense.
When first I bore witness to the power of the Ultima weapon, I doubted the evidence of my senses. And now you tell me there is another such weapon. One which could contend with Bahamut. Bahamut!
Aye, we were skeptical ourselves. Truth be told, until the Ultima weapon's existence came to light, we thought the inscription had been mistranslated.
At present, Omega is more akin to a fossil than a tool of war, having long since ceased to function. As such, its true potential cannot accurately be gauged.
Yeah, the Lalafels have rhymey names.
However, if someone were to restore it, as the Garleans did the Ultima weapon, I have little doubt that he would wield untold power.
Power enough to subjugate Uldar like as not, and the rest of Eorzea besides, which is doubtless why Teleji Adeleji yearns to have it.
That he should aspire to world domination. He who has ever walked 2 paces behind Lord Lolorito in matters of commerce.
'Tis in acknowledgement of his own limitations that he seeks this power. Woe betide us all should we allow him to have it.
Pray waste no time chasing rats. Only a fool would believe that secrets can be kept in Uldar.
It would seem the implications of the Sultanate's refugee problem are rather more far-reaching than we assumed.
At the very least, so Aether and Crystal both offer very different things. And you can make a character on both Diablos and Gilgamesh to see what you like better. You know, Crystal having the 2 big servers that it does means that you can hop over to Belmog and Maetis and find things for much cheaper because it's so the market is so oversaturated with people. Whereas if you are looking to do like harder content and you don't have a group to do it with, Aether would be your best bet for that. You will not have the same kind of luck on Crystal than you would on Aether. So they both offer different things. But go where makes you happy. The first time I made a character, I picked a zone that spoke to me. Just because I liked the name. Recent revelations weigh heavily on Alphino's mind. Oh! I should be glad to know the truth, and yet the thought that all this chaos was the product of one man's lust for power sickens me. How long do you think they intend to hide the existence of Omega from the Scions? That they even felt the need to do so is most troubling. It would be in our best interest to learn more of the military activities in the disputed territories. Fortunately, you are already well positioned to do so, Sergeant Yana. Pray keep us informed of any developments in Cartano. Begone, whelp! This is no place for children. I'm sorry. I was looking for you, miss. You said you were looking for the man who left with my parents. You know this girl? So he visited Stone's Throw as well, I see. Did you find the man? Were my parents with him? They were not, I'm afraid. However, I can think of several places they might be. If you like, we can go look for them together. Really? You'll help me look, mister? course, but first I must needs finish speaking with my friend. She's telling me a secret, you see, so no one else is allowed to listen. Mayhap you could wait for me by that pillar over there. We require but a moment. Okay, mister, I'll be waiting. I'll take her to the quicksand. Mayhap Malmody will know what to do. A legion of Garleans, an aether-starved primal, even dealing with an Ascian would be more preferable to this charade. Sometimes I fear Menophilia is too ambitious. We rush hither and yon in response to threats as they arise, without concern for the strain it places on our limited resources, and ourselves. Mayhap the time has come for a change. Akali, this is Menophilia. I know this is sudden, but I must ask you to return to Reverend's Toll with all due haste. The situation in the Twelveswood has taken a turn for the worse. I will explain in detail once you arrive. Greetings, greetings! The Twelveswood? Then the primal threat she spoke of before has been confirmed? I've received no reports of Ixali activity, which leaves the Sylphs? Go, Akali. You know as well as I that the appearance of a primal takes precedence over all else. Oh, and when you do arrive, do inform the antecedent that while I am grateful of her concern, she needn't fear for my safety. I am more than capable of protecting myself. Oh, speaking of food, Q, are you here? Oh, I'm just going straight to that. Q, do you want Taco Bell for dinner? Oh, we're gonna. Okay, you can go pick that up for whenever you want, and you can use my card. Excellent. This is a good way to communicate our desires for food. It is a relief to see you healthy and hale, Akali. The latest news from Ul'dah was most disturbing. I'm gonna eat a Crunchwrap Supreme, and it's gonna be delicious. Clearly, the only injury Alphanos suffered was to his ego. Doubtless it will heal ere long. The other scions will need to be present for this meeting. If you are ready to begin, I will summon them now. Menophilia wishes to discuss the latest threat to arise in the Black Shroud. Thank you for responding to my call with such haste. Rest assured, I should not have summoned you were it not urgent to business. Then, I have received some most disturbing news from the Order of the Twin Adder. They have reason to believe that the Sylphs may have called forth their reserved guardian, the Primal Rameau. I'm sorry, may have? Then it is not certain. The Elder Seer informs us that the elementals themselves murmur of the Lord of Levin's return to the forest. The Sylphlands, however, display no signs of undue commotion. Forgive me, antecedent, but the fact need not contradict the elemental's testimony. Unlike his more bellicose compeers, Garuda and so on, Ramu is reputed to act only in the defense of his children. Well, enjoy your food, Zath. I imagine he would make soon his presence known if any were foolish enough to directly endanger the Sylphs or their territory. The abruptness of the development concerns me. Were we not keeping a close watch on the touched ones and their movements? If preparations for a summoning ritual were indeed underway, 'twould surely not have escaped your notice. Oh, it didn't. I was pretty sure it was going to happen, just not this soon. I beg your pardon. You foresaw this eventually and did not to prevent it? I told Papalimo. I suppose I could have reported things to Menophilia earlier, but there honestly wasn't much we could do except to wait and see. You know how the Sylphs feel about people poking around in their territory. They already summoned Ramu once right after the calamity, but that was because the Garleans came trampling through the forest. And so long as Castrum Orient stands, the Sylphs cannot be blamed for wishing to have their guardian deity on hand. In short, Ida and I are in agreement. The actions of the forest folk were inevitable and unavoidable. And I maintain that observation would have remained the best policy had it not been for the sudden influx of strangers in the Black Shroud. That, alas, we did not foresee. By all accounts, the recent violence in Ul'dah drove a number of refugees to seek safety under the concealing canopy of the trees. 'Tis like that the Sylphs perceived this panic migration as yet another invasion and quickened their efforts to summon their god. I am put in mind of Titan and the kobolds. Once again, it is the affairs of men which have paved the way for a primal's coming. Indeed, one cannot help but wonder what manner of place Eorzea would be without this civilizing influence of mankind. Be that as it may, this regrettable development does afford us a unique opportunity. Akali, though your dealings with the Sylphs of little solace, you once succeeded in preventing an untimely conflict with Gridania. I wonder, might one who has treated with the Sylphs so fruitfully in the past not achieve similar success with their patron deity? If Ramu can be convinced of our intentions, it may be the first step to breaking the cycle of primal summoning. A fond hope, were such a thing possible, we would not have been at war with the Beastmen since time immemorial. But maybe this time we can... Let us continue this discussion anon. We must first consult with the nation most afflicted by Ramu's presence. The Elder Seedseer has requested your personal involvement, Akali. Pray report to Commander Huliswa in the Adder's Nest as soon as you are able. Steel yourselves for the worst. While I hope for a peaceful resolution to this matter, experience suggests that your meeting with the Lord of Levin will prove more or less than amicable. In such an event, your fellow Scions will of course lend you whatever support you require. That's a fair analogy. Take care, Akali. I look forward to hearing about all your adventures when you return. Duty calls? Well, no matter the task, I have faith you will see it through to the end. The children are quick to take to Eorzean ways, but I cannot claim the same flexibility. Hey, Miss Akali, what's a Ramu? Is it cute and fluffy like a horse bird? I tried substituting native ingredients several times, but the result was but a pale imitation of authentic Doman Kazween. Miss Akali, is it true that you're going adventuring again? I'm so jealous! Worried about leaving us alone? Don't be. While the Archons are away, Hoary Boulder will keep the little ones safe. Speaking with Master Colinet has opened my eyes to a great many things. I had no idea the world outside Doma was so strange and wonderful. Mayhap one day we shall accompany you into the field, but for now we must see to the less glamorous duties. I can just go. I don't have to be here any longer. Sergeant Yana, your arrival has been most anticipated. The appearance of a primal is ever cause for alarm and unease. Though my men stand ready for any eventuality, I know of none more qualified than you to snuff out this threat. Indeed, I would have you do so without delay. The Elder Seedseer, however, would speak with you first. She is of the opinion that your diplomatic rather than martial skills may serve better in our cause. I will leave further explanation to our learned leader. Pray make your way to Nafekia's altar. The conjurer in attendance will admit you into the lotus stand. It's 2B! Get out of the way, Cloud. I'm looking at 2B. Oh, there she is. Do something very cute. Her head is huge. Her head is just ginormous. The Scions have already arrived, madam. May I show you in? Yes. I see the Sylphs sent their own representative. There can be no doubt then. It is said that once Ramu passes judgment, his wrath is implacable. 'Twould be best to conclude this discussion ere Gridania and its people are placed upon his scales. Whatever the Eldseer is planning, I want you to know that I'll be right there by your side, and I'm sure your Stola won't be far behind, even if she does think everything's mankind's fault. I am most curious to hear how the Elder Seedseer means to treat with Lord Ramu. Oh, hello, Walking One. It is good to see a friend of Elder One.
Scions of the Seventh Dawn, on behalf of the people of Gridania, I bid you welcome. Your presence is of great comfort to us all in these days of uncertainty. I summoned you here to share tidings of a most urgent nature. But a short while ago, the great elemental spoke, and his voice was clarion in its intensity. Ramu is returned unto the forest. Scarce had his words ceased to echo in mine ears when we were visited by an emissary from Little Solace. Our guest informs us that the Sylphs, too, have sensed the presence of the Lord of Levin. Though his exact whereabouts remain unknown, we may safely assume that the Primal was summoned within the heart of the Sylphlands. Unlike the other Primals you have encountered, Lord Ramu is no raging avatar of destruction. He is revered as much for his wisdom as his strength, serving as both arbiter and guardian to his children. Given that we and the Sylphs found a way to share the Twelves Wood, it is my hope that this sagely immortal will be amenable to reason, and that conflict may be avoided. Blessed as you are with the power of the Echo, you are one of the few among us who may commune with a primal without fear of influence. I would ask, therefore, that you represent us in this most delicate of negotiations. The Twelves Wood has suffered enough. Upon this, we and the Sylphs, and I would venture Lord Ramu himself, are in perfect accord. Let us not endanger our shared home by engaging in unnecessary hostilities. Dear friend, I beseech you, safeguard the peace which exists between our peoples. You have my thanks. Pray make for Little Solace, then. A member of the Order of the Twin Adder awaits you there. He will advise you on how to find the Lord of Levin. An ill wind blows through the forest. Yet, it is not only the Twelves Wood that flinches at its coming. All the lands Veorzia shiver in dread anticipation. Have care.
Okay. I think we head straight for Little Solace. Sergeant Yana, I was told to expect you. I understand you go to treat with the Primal Ramu himself. An unenviable task, but one for which I have no doubt you are well suited. I have been told that your fellow Scions are conducting an investigation of the area as we speak. That we might ascertain a location where the Lord of Levin might be found, I would ask that you abide there until they return with their findings. The Serpent Lieutenant looks about, seemingly awaiting a visitor. I was told that the messenger would be sent as soon as your fellow Scions finish their investigation. I do not imagine it will be much longer. This one returns, and returns with good tidings. Wise ones have finished searching and have wisely identified the precise location where the Touched One summoned Lord Ramu. Your timing is impeccable, my fluttery friend. Might you be so kind as to escort this good woman to her fellow Scions? It would be this one's pleasure, Walking One. Please, please come this way. So, they cut pretty much this entire section out. But what used to happen was you had to find the other Scions, but the touched sylphs were turning into the Scions because they could shapeshift. And so, like, you had to throw these, like, powder bombs at your friends to see if they were real or if they were sylphs. And, it was kind of amusing. It was a little tedious, but the saddest thing about it is Thancred gets dragged by Y'shtola for the burn of a lifetime, and that is no longer in the game. Which is the saddest part. Because Thancred starts talking, and Y'shtola goes, well, if this is the real Thancred, it's good enough. And we don't even bother throwing the powder bomb at him. And he's like, what the hell? Ugh. Wise ones have ventured deep within the Sylphlands. Yeah, they had to pull the whole thing out. Wise ones have ventured deep, deep within the Sylphlands. This one must proceed carefully and keep an eye out for touched ones. They probably could have just left it in now, because you can fly through here. Because you used to not be able to fly through here, so you had to walk through all these windy paths. And now you can fly, so it wouldn't have been that tedious to do anymore. I would do anything to get that sick burn back. This one is most sorry, but this one can go no further. Draw too close to Lord Ramu, and this one may be turned mean and nasty like touched ones. And so this one must say farewell for now. Walking One will find wise ones not far from here, to the south. Go in safety, Walking One. Don't ask. Suffice it to say, we had something of a situation here. Ah, there you are. It is you, isn't it? So, Thancred is Thancred, Papalimo is Papalimo, Y'shtola is Y'shtola, and you are you, right? Well, that's easy enough to remember. This one's name is Ida, just in case Walking One was wondering. Joke! I'm joking. Yeah, so they've cut it all out, and so they experienced that whole situation without you. Which is what all that dialogue means. So it's actually you! I am relieved. For a moment I thought we were dealing with another one of those confounded sylph tricksters. I swear, with them wreaking havoc and with their skin-changing magics, it's no wonder I was able to finish taking my measurements. Yes, it was quite the ordeal. You should have seen the look on your Y'shtola's face when one was impersonating you suddenly showed up. That's quite enough, Papalimo. My apologies. It's not like me to ramble so. At any rate, I was saying I have finished measuring etheric activity in the area. I am pleased to say that I have reached an indisputable conclusion, to wit, that Ramuh was called forth in the vicinity of the Sylph's Aetheryte. Come, Akali, the Lord of Levin awaits! Pizza. Delicious.
Thine order betrays thee, servant of hiding. Thou art the bringer of light, bane of Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, and Leviathan. I am Ramuh, guardian of the children of the forest. Thou tramplest upon sacred soil, bringer of light. By what right doth man intrude in this sanctuary of the sylphs? Gridanians proffer peace? Their words are born of delusion. Thine offer, an insult.
And he do look very good.
Thou speakest of harmony, yet carest naught for my children's desires. They did but wish to dwell beneath these boughs in solitude. Yet even that was too much to ask of man. Thus did they turn to me for succor. The sentence I pronounce upon thy kind is just. Redanian or Garlean, it matters not. The good intent of one excuseth not the misdeeds of the other. Thy conflicts have brought naught but anguish and misery unto the forest. All blame doth lie with the darkness that resideth in the breast of man. Whence sprung this calamitous seed? In the beginning no such duality existed. Were light and dark given form when man was born? It would explain much. Not least why strife and sorrow follow ever in thy wake. Thou canst not deny the urgings of thine own nature. Knowing that thy mere presence here portendeth tragedy, wilt thou persist in this pretense of peacemaking? Thou bearest the crystal which I bestowed upon my wayward charges. That they should entrust so precious a gift to thee. Thou standest apart from thy kin. Thou art the bringer of light, aye. But there is something more in thee. Very well. I shall consider thy proposal.
shouldst thou survive my trial. If thou wouldst champion the cause of harmony, I must have proof that thou art fit to play the role. Wither mine ire, and prove to me thereby that thou hast strength enough to stay the darkness which threateneth to consume thee. Yet if thou shouldst be found wanting, know that all men shall perish in the storm of my judgment. Come to me, bringer of light. I shall await thee on the field of battle.
Yeah.
It is rare indeed to find you so far from a tome.
Yes, yes, yes. One of the old summons.
The Lord of Levin himself. Never till this day had I looked upon his visage, save in painted renderings made faint by time. Ever shall this scene remain etched in my mind's eye. Beg pardon, my lady. I must beg thine aid on a point of research. If thou art resolved to face Lord Ramu, I would ask thy leave to observe the event.
Let's go fight an old man! 5 minutes. But I desire to go now. That is exactly what this is. Do something, Cloud. There he goes. Well, I'm telling this boy to let's mosey. We gotta mosey. We should be able to finish this patch up, and then we can probably do Crystal Tower. Yeah, we'll do Crystal Tower and Hildebrand tomorrow. And that gives me a whole day, or a whole week, to level up Dragoon to 50. And I hope I remember to do that. Is there anything that I can do while we wait to fight this old man? I know ninja is good to go. We could make a ton of pies. Oh, very interesting. Oh, actually. I need a new belt. I'm overdue. I actually think I'm also wearing the wrong one. I am. Excellent. No problem. Ooh, I have tacos. Num 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 num. No, I was about to take a bite. Oh god. My mouth is full of cheese. Alright, let's fight. It's very, I don't know how to explain it, but I understand what you mean. People are getting cleaved. The tank is spinning the boss, which is actually frightening because the man cleaves. I'm gonna get away from what's happening over here. Oh, sorry. Slurp. Slurp. Nothing bad happened to me, but I watched some shenanigans. Unspeakable.
I have taken thy measure, bringer of light. And I judge thee a worthy champion. The task of excising the sin that hath taken root in man's heart is thine. Shrink not from employing thy strength in service to the forest and the wider realm beyond. Like hungering shadows do the enemies of harmony gather, and meekness will but feed them. If man is to be delivered from the dark, it shall be by thy guiding light alone. Stray not from the path, for if thou dost, thy people shall be truly lost.
Thou hast slain the Lord of Levin. A regrettable act, but a necessary one. In witnessing thy struggle, a truth hath been revealed unto me. If I mistake not, it may yet prove a chink in the eternal armor of the Ascians. But let us conclude our present business. I shall expound upon my findings at the Rising Stones anon.
Easy peasy. Yeah, that's it's no, it is Gideon Emery. That's Balthier's voice actor. Me too. Yeah, same man. For now at least. We get all new voice actors for everybody in Heavensward. Unless they got in, some of them already have new voice actors. Namino already has her new voice actor, and anyone we meet in these patches for the first time will also have new voice actors. Or we'll have the same voice actors going forward, but wait, is this not where I'm supposed to be? Nope, I sure am not. I have jumped ahead. I heard Urianger said, "I'll speak with you at the Rising Stones," and I went to the Rising Stones and nobody was there. I blame Urianger. Sergeant Yana, you have returned. Dare I ask how Ramun received your visit? He challenged you to a test of arms? It is well then that you have some experience in such matters. The peoples of both Gridania and Little Solus will be relieved to hear that the Lord of Levin has accepted you as the forest champion of peace. You have performed a monumental duty this day, Sergeant Yana. The Elder Seedseer must be informed of your deeds at once. The Serpent Lieutenant is ready to send you on your way. The Elder Seedseer will wish to hear of your experiences firsthand. Pray return to Gridania and make directly for the Lotus Stand. The Conjurer at Nofuga's altar will be expecting you. Fare you well, Sergeant Yana. Welcome back, Honored Scion. We who knew of your mission have been most anxious to see you return. The Elder Seedseer awaits you within. I hope this is also voiced, so I can finish eating my tacos. And you can see my little avatar go crunch, 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 crunch. You'll get there. I fancy my presence was more help than hindrance during our troubles with Leviathan this time around. Well, even I have my off days. 'Twould seem that Ida's appraisal of the situation held some merit after all. Mayhap I should not be too swift to discount her intuition. Ah, the hero of the hour! Let us not keep the Elder Seedseer waiting. Did it? You should have seen Maxio when we got back to Little Solace. Grateful is an understatement. I thought he was going to shake Papalimos's hand off. I was just munching. I gotta munch. I sometimes try and like when I do drinks and stuff to like, so it can't track my mouth, I'll put my hand up. But you got a two-hand, a Crunchwrap Supreme, so there was nothing I could do except devour. I got a two-handed.
You are returned to us, dear friend, and none the worse for bearing the heavy burden which I did press upon you. Most glad am I of this. I am informed that your efforts to negotiate a peace with Lord Ramuh ended in conflict. Pray tell me, what befell? Ramuh made trial of you? I fear there is truth to his claim. It is the darkness within us that attracts the darkness without. It cannot be denied that misfortune follows man. For evidence, one need only look to the conflict brewing in Cartano. Ord, our shared struggle against the Empire should have served to seal our union. Yet the ties which bind the Alliance strain under the weight of gross self-interest. As the scars of the calamity begin to fade, so too does our sense of common purpose. Yet now is scarce the time to forget our shared responsibility. If this new-sprung realm is to survive beyond its infancy, it must needs be nurtured by all. Eorzea must be as one. Yet I fear that dream is still far off. On behalf of the people of Gridania and the elementals both, I thank you for all that you and your fellow scions have done. Full oft have I been compelled to look to you for aid of late, and offered all too little in return. As leader of this nation, I shall endeavor to prove a more worthy ally to your cause henceforth. Lord Ramuh has departed, yet the keening of this ill wind grows no less insistent. Voices of the forest, pray speak and I shall listen. What unseen evil begets this unease in my heart?
Twould seem that Ida's appraisal. Oh, are you guys all just gonna say the same shit? Yep. Thus ends another daunting mission, eh, Akali? I hope Lord Ramuh could be persuaded with words alone, but nonetheless I can only admire the adroitness with which you responded to the primal sudden challenge. And it seems that Urianger too was pleased by the outcome. What say you, Akali? Shall we gather back at the Rising Stones and ponder the lessons of the day? I could not shake out of Thancred's voice, and I couldn't find Papalimos. You respect it? I can't munch on Mike, even when I'm with friends. I always try and mute myself for food. And I'm always told, you can just crunch. And I'm like, no, I mustn't crunch. Aw. Hell yeah. Welcome back, Akali. Word of your momentous encounter with Lord Ramu precedes you. I would fain share news of mine own, but Urianger's discoveries must take precedence. That's fair. Upon witnessing your defeat of the Lord of Leven, our learned companion was struck with a profound insight regarding the nature of the Ascian's immortality. Let us assemble and discuss his observations together. Yeah, that's fair.
If everyone is ready, let us begin. Urianger, the floor is yours.
As all here assembled now know, in its final hours as our Order's headquarters, the Waking Sands did play host to a most unexpected visitor. I speak of the Ascian clad in white, Elidibus.
Elidibus.
Unwelcome though his presence was, his words that day did serve to confirm a truth long suspected, that the Ascians are eternal beings, to whom physical destruction is as a temporary inconvenience.
It is, but it is for the aiming class only. So, Bard, Machinist, and Dancer. Those are the only three that can wear it.
In the intervening time, Urianger and I have striven to discover a means by which the Ascians might more permanently be slain.
And 'tis my belief that we have found the thread that will allow us to unravel the twisted skein of their existence. In the moments prior to Leviathan's most recent manifestation, the Sahagin elder who summoned him was observed to undergo some manner of ascension. The etheric readings taken by Y'shtola at the time of this transfiguration have proven most enlightening.
The disruption to the flow of ether was sudden and dramatic. So tangible was the agitation, I scarce had need of my goggles.
The significance of Y'shtola's readings might better be understood in the context of mine own, taken at the instant of the Lord of Levin's demise. Unlike the Primal, the Sahagin was not subject to etheric dissipation.
Before discussing our new discoveries, it may benefit us all to recall what we know of etheric behavior. Let us begin at what some might call the end. When we who dwell in the material realm die, our spirits dissolve into the flow of ether and are returned to the ethereal realm. In turn, the restless energy which suffuses that plane streams back into our world, giving rise to new life.
'Tis as the heavens did decree, the way of all mortal souls.
I know.
Twixt this world and the next do the ethereal currents swirl, bearing the very essence of life. Thus doth the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth continue unabated.
Primals behave somewhat differently. In order to manifest and then maintain a physical presence in this realm, they must consume vast quantities of ether, most often in the form of crystals. Though they may seem to live, their flesh is but ether given shape. Thus, a defeated primal leaves behind no broken corpse. Rather, the essence of its form seeps back into the land whence it came, and the energy of its shattered spirit is called back to the ethereal realm.
And there it waiteth, till next the prayers of the faithful do draw it forth from the sea of ether, to take their offering of crystals and make for itself a new body.
Which brings us on to the third group, the so-called immortals. They exist in a manner all their own.
Quite. Even as the Sahagin Elder fell to the Admiral's musket shot, I witnessed the release of an ethereal cloud, which immediately took possession of a nearby minion.
A soul that dissipateth not upon the death of the flesh.
The secret of life everlasting. And in the claws of a Sahagin, no less.
No, these are the
I
Asians.
wonder, what would happen to one of these obstinate spirits, should there be no suitable host for it to claim?
If mortal death entails a return to the ethereal realm, it seems doubtful that the soul of an immortal would venture there.
Nay, it merely withdraweth the distance, unto the shore of the ethereal sea, perchance, but no further.
Yes, it exists in neither this realm nor the next, abiding instead in the space that lies between them. The Asians took control of Thancred by means of a crystal of darkness, an artifact which, if our theories are correct, serves as a gateway to the place I have just described.
I was hoping people had forgotten about that.
I've forgotten that you are the final boss of A Realm Reborn.
I am sorry, my friend.
For a mercy, the weary road of our research hath brought us unto an answer.
The Sahagin ascended to an immortal state, but he did not possess a crystal of darkness through which to flee this realm. Thus was he consumed by Leviathan. If we could entrap the spirits of defeated Asians in like manner, and thereby deny them resurrection...
Therein lieth the path to victory. Thou art most perceptive, my lady. Only when we have trapped the bodiless soul within an ethereal prison can we hope to defeat its unnatural constancy. Thus might even an eternal paragon be consigned to oblivion.
These feats are, of course, far easier said than done. At present, we lack a viable means to entrap and extinguish an Asian soul. Yet, I believe it to be possible. The pieces of the puzzle lie before us. We have but to put them together.
I will depart at once to convene with the sages of Sharlayan. Together shall we divine the steps by which our goals may be achieved.
I have the utmost faith in you, Archon.
Beg pardon, antecedent, but I would raise one final matter. Even now, a Sharlayan survey party seeketh to ascertain the fate of the students of Baldessian. Their findings shall soon be known to us. Though you harbor feelings of dread, I bid you surrender not to sorrow, but abide instead in hopeful prayer.
I shall, Archon. Thank you.
The Lord of Levin is returned to the Aether, as was Leviathan before him. Ramuh's acquiescence was most intriguing. Inferno, Vortex, Crag, Whirl, and Levin all have now been humbled by the Bringer of Light. The limitless potential of man, Heidelin's servant, grows mightier by the day. Yet she prospers at great cost to her mistress, whose strength is all too finite. 7 times have the masses survived the rejoining, but their souls have grown weak and wan. Yet even as it venerates, the ardor empowers our master. All that remains is the nature of strength of the gifted to forge the final key. And that is the task to which we bend our very effort. To our every effort. Divine seeds were ever wont to quicken in Eorzea's fertile soil. We need only lead men to the field, and by their eager hands shall a new deity arise. That which was shattered shall be made anew, and the one true God shall come again. That is actually not the end of the patch, but I have no more time to go any further. So we'll finish the patch, then do Cypress Tower, and then do Hildebrand tomorrow. Ugh. Good stuff. Very fun. Ramuh is a very cool looking boss. Is it weird? What's so weird, Zath? Ask your questions. I have all the answers. Oh, you get 2. You're gonna get so much plot. Hell yes! Alright, but that is going to be it for me today. Thank you so very, very much for being here. You can find my Twitter, my Discord, and my YouTube, all of which are in my About page if you are looking for more of me and what I do. You can also find in my About page all the people that have helped make this stream possible. So a big thank you to them. I will be back tomorrow at 5 p.m. EST with more Final Fantasy XIV. It will be the last stream of the day. And then starting Tuesday, we have a brand new series, which will be Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. And we will go through all 3 games and maybe Apollo Justice. I don't know what's in that bundle. It might just be the first 3. Yes, yes. I can't remember what I said I would... Oh, I said I would link the Discords. But yes, thank you so very, very much for being here. I hope you all have a lovely evening, and I will see you, hopefully, tomorrow. Goodbye!